time. I remember the first time I ever went to the ward, I was like 16 years old, and I was having a mental health crisis, and I have schizoaffective disorder, and at the time it was bipolar. But yeah, I went there, and it was pretty crazy. And the following few years, I I was there quite a few different times. And I think the one that really changed me, though, the one that made me say, hey, this is a place you do not want to end up in, was when I went to the county psych ward. And I went there 3 times. The third time was when I finally figured it out. But the first 2 times, I got myself in there because I ran from the cops. Don't don't do that. That is a mistake you make once or twice, and the second time, when they tase you or some shit, you don't make that mistake again. So yeah, I went to the county psych ward, and I was not happy about it. I was not having it. I may have rebelled a little bit, and I did not want to be there. And the first time, I fought it every bit of the way. I mean, they were serious. I mean, like, straitjacket serious. Like, they're not playing around. They'll shoot you up with the booty juice, bro. You're fucked. Like, and you're stuck there for weeks. And yeah, I was there for weeks, and I was not happy. And then, like, a year later, I did the same thing. I ran from the cops because I had weed and I was scared. And the second time I did that, they tased me. And then they just threw me in this county psych ward again. And yeah, that time, though, I was a little bit more familiar with the routine, and that you're not supposed to, like, act out about it. Just fucking go like it's jail. And that time I was like, oh, so that's how you do it. And it was a lot smoother of a process, and I didn't hate it nearly as much. It was not fun, but it was a better experience than being in a straitjacket and getting booty juice. Okay, so that was that. And then the third time I went there was on my own volition because I was having a mental health crisis, and there was no other hospital that was open. There was no other beds, and I was like, I have to go to county again. And I did. I was like, I want my meds. I just want a normal life. At that point, I was so desperate to get help that I went there on my own will. And I put my head down, and I actually tried to get better. And I got better. I made the connection that sometimes it's not always good to just put random things in your body. It's not good to just, if you have schizoaffective disorder, at least it's not good to just smoke weed. It doesn't agree with me. And I learned that the hard way. And yeah, I got better. I got a job. I learned that hard work pays off. And for a solid 3 years after that, I didn't go to the psych ward. And yeah, I ended up having to go back when I was like 25 because I went off my meds. I wanted to see what life was like without meds. Do I really have schizoaffective disorder? I've took meds since I was 16 years old. Like, what is my life like without drugs? So I went off, and yeah, it was rough. And again, I realized that I needed help at the end of it. I had to quit my job. I was working a security job. I had to quit that. I thought I was top-notch shit, honestly. It was a security job at a club popping off in Milwaukee, and I thought I was so cool. Until I had to eat my hat and go back to the hospital. But when I turned 25, that's kind of when I was like, okay, I have to get my shit together. Like, I need to get my driver's license. Like I need to start thinking about the bigger picture. You know, and so I did, and I got my driver's license. I did driver's ed, and I started doing DoorDash. I was like, I need a job, so I started DoorDashing, and for a solid 2 years, things were relatively kosher. Now I wasn't completely sober. I would say I was taking kratom and phenibut. Okay, and those are drugs too. Like, don't get me wrong; those can mess you up just as much as pills. Um, and when I turned about 28, it got really rough. I mean, it ended in you know it ended in a crash out, and I ended up in the psych ward again. But that was last November, and I haven't done drugs or drank since. And that psych ward visit was seriously like, I had never seen the psych ward that bad. Okay, there was times where I was scared for my life. Like, I was shaking. I mean, it was so bad there that they had to close the day room down early. Everyone was locked down. Like, everyone was sent to their rooms early, and we had to just stay in our rooms. I remember there was some guy throwing poop at the wall, and I could hear the splat across my room, and I could just hear him yelling, and I'm like, why am I here? You know? Why would I pay money for something that sends me to this place? That's the better way to put it, you know? And I remember just trying to go to sleep, and I'm thinking, like, I've done so many freaking drugs in my life. I have so many crazy experiences with psychedelics, and it all just kind of came to me, and I was like, I don't need to do this anymore. Like, I've done everything, you know? I don't need to get high anymore. I'm done. And I left that, and I started my life over again. And I started getting really serious with like YouTube videos and like editing and making music that I actually want to make, you know? And I feel like I have my life back without all these crazy drugs always in the picture, you know? It's kind of incredible. And I just want to say there's hope for people who have mental health issues. You can get better, but you got to be honest with yourself. Like, truly ask yourself, why are you doing these things? And are they actually making me the person I want to be? Because if you can ask yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, this is the person I want to be, then you probably don't have a problem. But if you can't look yourself in the eye and say, this is not, if you don't hate yourself at the end of the day, because you probably do, it's the problem, and you can get better from it. But it takes honesty, honesty with everyone in your life, because drugs don't only affect you, they affect everyone around you. When you're high, everyone else knows too. Even if you don't think they know, they can tell. So, yeah. I have schizoaffective disorder, and I'm also sober. And I'm also 29 years old, and I'm still figuring my life out. But I'm happy. Some days I'm sad, some days aren't perfect, but overall, bro, I'm happy. Like, I know who I am, and I'm happy and proud of myself, bro. It depends on who they are. Yeah. I mean, like, the loved ones in your life, the people who know you, they'll know. They'll know something's off, you know? And that affects them too, you know? And it hurts me to hurt the others in my life like that. You know? Like I feel bad for exposing my little sister to all the crazy shit that I did. And I don't want other people to have to experience that. Thank you. And honestly, I just like making music for people. I just like making other people happy with my music at the end of the day. That brings me so much more joy than any drug could give me, especially long term. And if you can find that passion that drives you, that's key. Like, that's golden, you know? Just doing something for someone else. You know, like I got my friend lunch today because her kid was sick. And I just felt like I had to do that, you know? And that, yeah, I was able to play music for them and be there for someone else, which is kind of surprising for me to say that you know, even a year ago, I don't know if I would have done that. So I feel like I've changed since that last psych ward visit, at least. Something changed. Like I saw I saw people at their worst when I was at my worst, you know? And it made me kind of think about, hey, man, you don't have to live like that. And the hardest thing about seeing that was that some of those folks, they can't fix their scenario. They're stuck. Like, actually stuck. You know? They're stuck in the system. And I feel like that's kind of where people lose hope. You know, I feel like I say I'm stuck sometimes. But deep down, I know I can probably figure it out. Not everyone can say that. Not everyone is that self-aware to where, you know, if they're having a mental health crisis, hey, maybe get some help before it gets worse and you end up in a scenario that you can't get out of anymore. You know? I want y'all to stay safe. I want to stay safe. Because life is a beautiful thing. It's a dark, twisted fantasy. But we exist in it, you know? We still exist. Even when it gets to its darkest point, we still exist. We still have to live through it and make the best out of it. This is my first live stream. Holy crap. Oh man. I'm literally like I've been on YouTube since 2012 or something. Like I've been on YouTube for a while. I've had a channel for a long time. And I used to post stuff when I was like 12 years old. Um and I actually had I brought views in. I was part of the partner program since the beginning of the partner program until I got phased out because I just went dark. You know, I had so much going on in my life that I couldn't keep up with it, and I want to bring it back. Like I want to make content for you guys. You know, I feel like I feel like that's part of my purpose here, is to like entertain you. You know, to make you laugh and cry and think. You know. So I want to bring my page back. I wish I was more consistent, but I started YouTube when I was, like I said, like 12 years old. I had one video pop off. It was my Ableton tutorial. I made a tutorial called How to Make a Drum Beat in Ableton Live 8 or something, you know? It was a long time ago. And it got like 40,000 views, and that's what got me in the partner program. And I made like one check, you know, when I was a kid. And then, like, I just stopped making videos after a while. I got so caught up in drugs and mental health that I couldn't continue. But now I am continuing, you know? It's just been a long pause, and it's hard to recover from. I hope this video brings you hope. Because there is something greater out there for all of us, even when it doesn't seem like it. Because it's really fucking crazy right now. I mean, with this current state of events, it's like watching a drama, like the Truman Show or something. You know, I can't even believe half the stuff I see on the news now. It is actually happening. But I still want to make everyone laugh. You know, like I can't help it. I can't help it, dude. Hey. I'm just telling a stream about where I've been, how I went dark. And now I'm back. I started YouTube around 2012-ish. And then I had some mental health stuff go on, and I just went dark. But around 2023, I started posting again. And I've been really consistent this year, especially, like, just trying to post my shorts, like, every day, you know. Build my follow. Yeah. You know? So I started a stream. I mean, you gotta start somewhere. And streaming is the way. I mean, I'm not used to that whole idea of streaming, because I'm kind of like a caveman when it comes to live streaming, at least. Not shorts, like videos I know. But like I didn't grow up with streaming when I was really big on YouTube, you know? We just made vlogs. We made memes. You know, I made memes all the fucking time. But I have to adapt. I mean, eventually I'm going to have to start streaming like more consistently. So I might do some music streams. I have a capture card. I could do gaming streams. I mean, if you're into that. I play Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3. Those modded labs go crazy, bro. Oh man. Check out my latest short, bro. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Concert I'll never forget. A concert I'll never forget. I saw Death Cab for Cutie at Summerfest. That was pretty sick. And then I saw Tori Moy at the rave. That was also sick. That was probably one of my favorites. I love that band. And then Death Cab was just a band that's my childhood like favorite band. I mean, I just love music. And I have a Line 6 now. I can make music similar to that style, which again is something that I've always dreamed of. I've always loved music in general, and I kind of blend the lines between like indie and hip hop. So I kind of like to have this kind of like lo-fi kind of feel, and I've always just dreamed of making music similar to like Death Cab for Cutie, or kind of like that kind of like Line 6 guitar pedal kind of era of music, and now I can finally like do it, and it's really cool. And then like experiment into like other genres, you know. I've been really into recording things on cassette tape. That's something that has been a new exploration of mine musically. I have a cassette deck right here. It's called the Akai CSF3 SR. And I like to record all of my music through that and then into Ableton. I don't always do that. You know, occasionally I'll change up the engineering of it. But it has a certain warmth, like a slap to it, that digital doesn't really have, you know? I've also been doing a lot of stuff with synthesizers. I got this. Oh, yeah, that's Mass Effect. But, yeah, I got Mass Effect. It's a game I have yet to play. But, yeah, I have this Poly D, Behringer Poly D synthesizer. It's pretty sick. Oh yeah, and then there's the Alesis SR16. It's a drum machine. And then I just repurchased this, the Boss SP505, which is a sampler. Okay. Now I've made music with that. I first bought one like a decade ago, and that was how I made all my rap music when I had a rap group, because I had a rap group. And I was the producer, and I would sample vinyl records with it. And I had that thing for like 5 or 6 years. And then I spilled something on it eventually, and it broke. And then I never used it again because the pads were broken. I mean, I tried to use it, didn't really work, you know. But eventually I wanted to recreate the sound I had before, so I repurchased it because, like, they're like $250 on eBay. Like, it's not crazy money. And so I've kind of been re-exploring that too, and that's really cool. It has this certain sound to it. It has that lo-fi emulation setting that sounds like a Boss SP 404, but it's not a 404, and it's really cool. So I've been really into that too. And then I've been kind of getting into like gaming on this thing. That Series X, I kind of realized, I was like, holy crap. That's not just an Xbox, that's an Xbox 360, and an Xbox One, all in the same console. And then, like, the door just opened in my mind where I was like, I can buy any Xbox 360 game and play it on that. Like, that's freaking cool. So then I bought, like, Mass Effect, freaking Mass Effect. Game I never played. Played a bunch of Halo. growing up. That was I was a freaking Halo fanboy. That was my fucking jam for years. And then I also recently just bought Black Ops 2, and then I had MW3. I got it from my cousin for Christmas years ago, like a long time ago. Played it like once, and because I was like a Halo fanboy, I just wasn't into it. But then Halo died, and I got really into COD because I was like, I don't like Fortnite, okay? I like Splitgate. And then I realized I was like, COD is kind of sick. So I started playing that. So I got Black Ops 2 recently, and I've been playing that. That surprisingly is still alive on console. I mean, there's a small community of people that still play it. So that's been fun. Maybe I'll do some streams of that, honestly. Like I said, I have a capture card. I can do it. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't streamed. I feel like part of it is my excuse of saying that I'm a boomer and I just don't understand streaming. I'm not a boomer. But, but I want to grow my following, and streaming is like the best way to do that, So I feel like that's something that I'm going to have to adapt into at some point. Man, this is kind of cool. I never really I'm just going off the dome right now. But there's like a lot that I want to share, I want to get involved in stuff too. Like I want my music to be like out there, and I want people to hear me, I don't know. I feel that, I feel like I want to do something bigger than what I'm doing now. So I guess I'm going to have to keep streaming. I mean, what else could I do? No, I'm probably going to... No, I know I'm going to go back to school. That's one thing I'll do. Seriously. In the fall, I want to go back to school for audio engineering and just get my freaking degree. Because, I know how to engineer. I know how to use a DAW and record music. I just don't have a degree, I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it. But I'm at a point now where I could do it. So I'm going to do that, All right, guys. It's been like a half hour of me rambling. I think that's enough. Have a good night. Stay safe.